people who own XRP, it is happening. All of you are welcome to the group. My name is Nick. For those of you who are new to the channel, I hope you subscribe by the end of this movie. If you're watching, make sure you read the text below and follow me on all of my social media accounts so you never miss an update. Also, sign up for the free Discord right now to make sure you're killing the cycle and making a ton of money. Now, with keeping all of that in mind, let's talk about a few things. First, the most important thing I'm keeping an eye on is a big change in the rules and regulations. This is also the most important thing we can see right now. This has nothing to do with the SEC or politics either. There is a very interesting event going on. And I do think this will speed things up, change the schedule, and change everything else going on in space as well. We need to talk about it. Now, let's start with some recent news. I already talked about this in a video, but I want to go over it again for people who missed it. In the end, the SEC is, giving up on some alternative coins. That includes Polygon, Solana, ADA, and a few others. I think it was about 10 coins. They're basically pulling back, which I find very interesting. Keep in mind that this is happening at the same time that Trump spoke at a Bitcoin meeting on Saturday. Everyone is wondering if this is political. Like, what's going on here? What is really going on? Okay, we have a lot of reasons to believe Judge Torres is wrong, even here. At this point, even Gary Gensler is going back or editing his BS. And in case you missed it, everyone was talking about how the Judge Tourist ruling about XRP was wrong and how XRP is still a security, just like all of these other coins are. The token itself is not a security, but the way it is offered and packaged could be. That is the rule that Gensler doesn't follow religiously. Yes, Gary Gensler is dropping the ball right now, but it's not Gary Gensler. I've already talked about this a few times. I think that everything is part of one big plan. I think that everything we are seeing right now is planned. Now, everyone thinks that Gary Gensler and the SEC are taking a step back on this because of politics or some other reason, right? This is more proof that Gary Gensler should quit right away, just like the one we have here from Johnny Deaton. In order to protect small investors in the Ripple case, I had to sue the SEC Gov and file a move to intervene. In that case, I said Gensler and the SEC were breaking rules that had been in place for 76 years. Case law. This means that the claims were not backed up by the law. The SEC made personal attacks on me and lied to the court. The judge, who was nominated by President Obama and has always been a Democrat, finally agreed with me and my 75,000 clients. Gensler's SEC is now taking back some of its ridiculous claims after hurting small investors for billions of dollars. Liz Warren told Gensler to lie under oath, which he did. As Brad Garthinghouse points out, Gensler made the rules very clear. So why are his lawyers going against those very clear rules more than once? Also, Brad Garthinghouse called out the SEC's hypocrisy by saying, listen, Chair Gensler says the rules are clear, but his SEC can't figure them out and applies them randomly, which leads to more industry confusion, a political agenda, or bad faith litigation tactics. This is definitely not a true devotion to the law. Yes, this is a very important call to attention to what's going on here because it's a very big problem. Again, everyone is looking at the political reason as to why. That should be the easy answer, right? It was harder for the judge in Binance to prove that Howey was happy with secondary trades than it was for the judge in Coinbase. In order to avoid having their broad legal theories shot down by a wary judge, Jackson, the SEC has decided not to bring those claims to the attention of a judge who is likely to agree with them. This is also a fail. These acts are more proof that these actions by law enforcement are about lawfare and not the role of law. Okay, so let's take a closer look at what's going on. Is it politics? In general, what's going on with this plan that the SEC is pushing? What's really going on? Is it just a push against crypto? Well, I've made videos more than once talking about how I think everything has been worked out, and I really do believe that. But more lately, there has been a lot of attention on how politicians, especially presidential candidates, are pushing the pro-crypto narrative because they want to win votes. Even here, we have a new senator from Tennessee. Hegarty tells me that Kamala Harris's plan for crypto is slowed down by the past. What did he think of the vice president's crypto reset? I asked if he thought it would help her campaign. He said it's not a surprise that Kamala Harris is, as she has done on many other issues, trying to look pro-crypto at the last minute after seeing how well President Trump did at Bitcoin Nashville. What has been weighs down on what can be, which is bad for her. 3.5 years of policies that were clearly against crypto and new ideas from the Biden-Harris government. People in the crypto community who support the GOPs of freedom and new ideas can see right through this. That's why there were so many excited people at Bitcoin Nashville 2024 for President Trump. Nothing Kamala Harris does at the last minute will change the fact that the Republican Party is the party of crypto. Now, is there a big political problem with crypto regulations? 100%. There has been a push by the Democrats against crypto. But I've always said that everything is planned ahead of time because just look at what has happened with Ripple and XRP since the case. It's only been growth and more growth. Without a doubt, yes, there has been some kind of repression. Yes, I agree though that was a big event that changed things. I agree with you that it was. As I've always said, a big event is needed to slow down innovation and the industry so that the infrastructure can be built and big players like BlackRock, Fidelity, and all the other TradFi guys can finally get into the space and try to take as much control over it as they can. For the most part, this is working. While this is going on, Mika is live, and we also have new comments from the SEC and the CFTC. Mika will really set the tone for how crypto is regulated around the world. On June 30th, the rules will start to apply to stablecoins, so yes, it did pass. That will happen at the end of this year for service companies and tokens, though. You might be wondering why Nick is bringing this up again. We're going to talk about it, though. Look at this. The question is, how do you think other places will try to control crypto? So I think Mika, along with what the SEC and CCC have said recently, will really set the tone for how crypto is regulated around the world. That being said, the EU confirmed on April 8th of this year that the new rules on instant payments will go into force. When you think about how far ahead the EU is, this was another big deal. This is being pushed over and over. What does this do now? It puts stress on the US, though. As you might say, it speeds up a big shift. This did not happen lately, though. So why does the SEC really flip? Is it the politics? Is it what's going on in politics? I don't think so. And I really believe this is a big change because right now in Russia, the parliament passed a bill that lets people use cryptocurrency to pay for things across borders. This was very important. In this case, too, we can build on this with extra P drops. We have Russia. Yesterday, the State Duma passed 2 crypto bills that will make mining crypto legal starting November 1st, 2024. The central bank can give certain companies permission to settle transactions and trade in digital cash across borders. It's a huge message, and I did include it in a video not long ago. Here in the United States, El Salvador wants to trade crypto with Russia. They want to use Bitcoin to settle trades, which, let's be honest, is pretty funny since Russia wants to improve economic ties and get around the US-controlled SWIFT system. The country is thinking about asking to join BRICS in the next 1 to 2 years. People are talking about what this means for global trade and the role of cryptocurrencies in foreign relations. All of this is important. That is the US's responsibility, and the SEC and other US regulatory bodies need to move quickly and correctly. That's why I don't think this is a political issue when I look at what the SEC is doing now. Oh, I see the elections are coming up. I don't think they're trying to change their minds about crypto now. No, I think they're flipping now because they have to. We are now very far behind, and Russia, which has always been seen as an enemy, is now pushing crypto regulatory frameworks and legalizing crypto payments for trade, especially cross-border payments. This is a huge, huge news. It's also a push. They are protesting against what the US is doing because they see that the US is letting this business get away from them. Now, outside of this, remember that Ripple is at the front of US changes to regulations and big moves. Ripple is leading the way in improving laws for digital assets. They are supported by a strong team of legal and policy experts who are making big strides in the industry. They are actually making it possible for crypto to be used by everyone. Take Lauren Believe, who is in charge of US government and public policy. We have a quote from her right here. The way I meet with regulators and policymakers in the UK, Brazil, and Dubai is very different from how I meet with my counterparts in other parts of the world. In those places, we still talk about some of the bigger political issues, but the conversations are much more business-oriented. Don't forget that Lauren Believe was also at this meeting with Nellie Liang, who is the Undersecretary for Domestic Finance at the US Treasury. This meeting was important. It's clear that Stellar was there. I think Chainlink was also there. But this happened in April, and the talk was about the technical and legal needs to improve the old features of central bank money,